Hello, my name is Allison Carmen, and welcome to my podcast, 10 Minutes to Less Suffering. Today, I'd like to talk to you about New Year's resolutions. I'm somebody who loves making goals, and I have big dreams, but sometimes New Year's resolutions can be tricky. We could be ending a year that was difficult or challenging, so we want to think of the best way to start the new year. We might make resolutions about going on a diet or starting a new business or having a new relationship. And we write them down, and then many of us find a few months into the year, we can get disappointed that we haven't achieved these things yet, or maybe we had a tough time pursuing the things that we said we were going to. But what's so interesting about New Year's resolutions is that often people make them to feel safe. It's not that they're not real goals or dreams, but people make them in order to feel some type of certainty in 2020. That this is what I want the year to look like. And it makes us feel better. That we have a plan. And believe me, I love plans. I love business plans. I love projections. I love all of that. But I've learned over the years that whether we're going to have a good year in 2020 is going to come down more to our perspective than it is to our resolutions. Because if you think about it, if we believe that there are many different ways to be okay, would we hold on to our resolutions as tightly? Let's say we wanted to get a job at a certain company or in a certain industry. If we knew that there are many ways to be okay, we would still pursue that. But when we're pursuing it, if another opportunity comes up, if another idea comes up, if we don't get the job we wanted immediately, instead of backing away from our resolution, this perspective that there are many ways to be okay will alleviate a lot of our stress and worry. We could stay more present, we could have more joy, and we could still pursue the things that we want with less desperation and less chaos. So it's our perspective that's going to allow us to hold on to our resolutions or to hold on loosely to the fact that maybe we just want to get a great job and we're not exactly clear where it is, or we want to start a new business. But this knowing that there are many different ways to be okay, well, that's a beautiful thought that will probably lead us to more joy and peace during the new year. And instead of making resolutions about a new love relationship, going on a diet, or starting a new business, maybe a better resolution, which is more perspective, is I'm going to commit to make the best of whatever happens to me in 2020. And I know some people believe that the best is always happening for us, and some of us don't believe that. But I think we could all agree that no matter what happens to us, if we make the best of it, no matter what it is, we're more likely to get up every day and do our best and pursue our goals and pursue our dreams, and we're more likely to get there. But sometimes the fear of things not working out or not going the way that we thought, or us not achieving our resolutions exactly as we thought they would happen, we kind of lose our way. And that's very understandable, because sometimes life could be very overwhelming. We could have terrible heartbreak. We could have a difficult job loss. We could not have enough money. And if we lose this sense of okayness and we're so afraid of what's going to happen next, it's hard for us to show up in each moment the best that we can. So that's why it's so important if we make this commitment that we're going to make the best of no matter what happens. Then whether we achieve our resolutions or not, we're still going to get the most out of the year that's possible. And I do think we're more likely to achieve our goals. A third perspective that's very helpful, that will help you hold on to your dreams, that'll reduce your stress and worry, is of course this idea of maybe. And I know I talk about maybe a lot, but many people, the most painful thing in their lives is the uncertainty. What's going to happen next? How are things going to get better? How am I going to find my way? And again, many people listening to this podcast have very legitimate fears and worries. But we must remember that 2020 is filled with uncertainty. And because it's filled with uncertainty, there's a lot of maybe in there. Maybe things will get better. Maybe what's happening right now turns out to be good. Maybe we could accept the things that happened to us in 2020 will still be okay. And maybe the best is yet to come. There were all these maybe statements. that constantly allow us to give up the fear and exchange it for hope. Because uncertainty is the most hopeful thing that we have. Because that's where our lives change. Our lives always change in the unknown. And you're more likely to hold on to your goals and your dreams if you allow yourself to live in maybe. And another great perspective for the new year is gratitude. And I know I talk about gratitude a lot, but gratitude always gives us a place to stand. If we turn around and it's March and we feel like we haven't done any of the things we thought we would do, and we start to get down on ourselves, sometimes it's hard to find ground. Where do we begin? We could always begin with what we have. That's what gratitude is. Gratitude is a reminder of what we have in our lives. Where are the blessings? It soothes our heart. It soothes our soul. We remind ourselves of the resources that we have, whether it be money in the bank, whether it be good friends, whether it be a beautiful support system through your family, whether it be in your education, whether it be a talent that you have, whatever you have. To be grateful for that reminds you of what you have, and it also fills your heart up with joy. It reminds us of all the good in our lives, all the good in the world, and it softens us. And it just makes us feel lighter and happier about life, which is inspiring, opens us up to new creativity. There are so many blessings every day, and it also allows us to experience them and be more present and not miss out on what's happening in our lives because we're so ambitious or worried about what tomorrow will bring. Another great perspective is to commit to being less reactive and more responsive to your life. Sometimes when things are not going our way, or things are moving very quickly, or we are just stressed out, we become very reactive to our lives. And when we do this, sometimes we destroy our relationships, we don't make good business decisions, and it's going to be really hard to achieve the things that we want. So space between what happens and how we react is one of the most important things we could do in 2020. This way, when we decide to make a decision, we decide to say something to somebody in a business transaction or a personal relationship, whatever we decide to do or say, our actions will serve us. And a more thoughtful response is always going to lead us in a better direction. So yes, write all your goals down. Write all your dreams down. Put them up to your heart and commit to them. But also commit to your perspective for the new year, because that's really what's going to carry you through good times, through bad times, through failures, and through success. Life always has many different things going on at once. We could have a great business opportunity and have difficulty in our personal life. Things are always going to be moving. So you could achieve everything on your list, and yet there could be other things you didn't expect that might knock you off your feet. But a good perspective will make sure that you get up. It'll make sure that you're strong and that you're resilient, and that you could reduce your stress and increase your presence and increase your joy, which means you're more likely to have a good year in 2020. So remember these 5 perspectives. Maybe one of them will be your saving grace. Maybe one of them will become your mantra when times are difficult, or help you when times are good, help you expand, help you be more creative. So remember, there are many ways to be okay. So you don't need to be so rigid and worried. Number 2, always make the best of what's happening in your life. And I know sometimes it's hard, but every day we just have to remember to do our best and to stay hopeful. And often the pain that we feel will not kill us. And we have to remember that if we make the best, then we're more likely to experience the best of life. Number 3, always remember the maybe. Life is uncertain, but uncertainty has hope. Another great perspective, it's always good to count your blessings and stay grateful. It'll always be a beautiful foundation and give you the strength every day to move forward. And lastly, the less reactive we are in our lives, and the more space we give when things happen that we don't like or we didn't expect, that space is going to calm us down. It's going to give us clarity. It's going to give us more peace before we respond. And when we give ourselves a space, the actions that we take serve us, and they're more likely to lead us in the direction that we want to go. So again, perspective is everything. And if in 2020 you could choose all of these perspectives, or at least one, You're going to have more possibilities and more opportunities to make 2020 one of the best years of your life. Thank you for listening to my podcast today. If you'd like to get in touch with me, you can email me at allison@allisoncarmen.com. If you'd like to buy my book, The Gift of Maybe, it's available at all major bookstores and online retailers. And if you like this podcast, you can subscribe and leave a comment.